the little weirdos at this point, who for the most part we just ignore, are playing a very, very dangerous game. So I'm talking about that kind of group of like lefty streamers who sort of paint themselves off as if they're communists, but seem to have a very, very tenuous grasp of Marx and Lenin. Who are actively defending Russia's aggression and disastrous war. Those people need to, one, shut up, and certainly take Lenin out of your mouth. I mean, one of the things that is just so amazing to me, um, is these groups of people who sort of consider themselves to be anti-imperialists in the using the terminology of like Lenin's conception of imperialism. Um, you know, Supporting somebody and supporting an intervention that started with Putin explicitly saying that one of the greatest mistakes of Lenin was recognizing the importance of sovereignty and independence, for nations like Ukraine, right? You can't hold those two ideas together to say, on one hand, that this is some kind of anti imperialist action, right? Which, again, is delusional on its face. But you explicitly can't do it at this point, when the orchestrator behind it is saying that he's doing this clearly in opposition to like the historical legacy, of Lenin, who made the correct call, at the beginning of the Soviet Union to allow, to create, and allow this kind of sovereignty, for states within the Union. That shit's just ridiculous. I don't want to fixate on them because I don't think that they really represent a large chunk of any kind of movement or people. But it's worth calling out, just because I find it to be extremely damaging, um, to our movement, and also to like the actual anti-imperialist and anti-war legacy of people, in the communist movement, whatever you think of them. Um, you know, it's truly, I think it's just ridiculous at this point. And I think more and more people are seeing through it, because those people aren't, anti-war. Uh, they seem to just be willing to say almost anything. Uh, and I think that's some pretty bad complicity in things. Mm. What I'm gonna say right now about those people. I don't, like. There's some people who get like spend a lot of time thinking or like reading or watching their stuff. I don't, so I can't say too much more other than the fact that I think that anyone who is actually like trying to positively describe themselves as a socialist or an anti-imperialist who's supporting Russian a land invasion in another country, uh, yeah, I think it's pretty fucking delusional. Um, and if anything, take like Lenin's name out of your mouth, take anti-imperialism out of your mouth, take the word socialism and the communist movement out of your mouth, um, because if you want to create your own kind of bizarre, nasty movement that is supporting these kind of things, fine. um I'll condemn you and argue with you on that, but don't also say that this is a kind of extension of very proud anti-war positions and people. I find that to just be um you know extremely offensive. Hmm. You can go on my Twitter. You can find at least one of them who I retweeted. I didn't go through the entire. Who I asked if who's openly supporting the invasion. Go on. You can go on my Twitter. I've pointed out some of them, and I'll be. I can promise you right now that there's a whole rogues gallery of folks, um, the kind of usual suspects, unfortunately.